The drama surrounding Japan's most electrifying combat prodigies has always carried a mythical weight, but nothing compares to the brutal showcase of dominance, ego destruction, and raw precision that unfolded across their early careers. It begins with confidence and arrogance, with challengers stepping into the ring convinced that size, swagger, or reputation would shield them from the storm. But once the bell rang, once the distance closed, these same challengers discovered what so many before them learned the hard way. Japanese warriors don't respond to disrespect with words. They respond with violence, discipline, and an unshakable sense of honor that feels almost ancient. And in fight after fight, that honor became a weapon far sharper than any boastful tongue. The stage first belonged to Jamie McDonald, a towering British champion who believed his length, his reach, and his credentials made him untouchable. He had never been knocked out, had never tasted the kind of defeat that breaks a man from the inside out. Perhaps that is why he dismissed Naoya Inoue as small, as short, as easy prey for a veteran who had already proven himself on the world stage. But when the opening bell echoed, Inoue revealed the truth. The ring does not care about size. It cares about speed, precision, and a predator's instinct. Inoue tore through the champion with frightening urgency, dismantling him with a combination so savage it collapsed McDonald's entire career in a matter of seconds. A man who once boasted about wiping out smaller fighters now lay motionless beneath a Japanese executioner who claimed the WBA title as if it were merely another stepping stone. It wasn't the last time arrogance tasted punishment. In 2019, Tenshin Nasukawa faced Filipino challenger Fritz Bayagon, a fighter backed by none other than Manny Pacquiao himself. But the pressure, the hype, the expectations of representing a boxing nation meant nothing when Bayagon stepped into the ring acting less like a warrior and more like a toy monkey clanging cymbals for attention. His wild movements and showboating collapsed the moment Tenshin unleashed his fury. What followed was nothing short of a demolition. The Filipino prospect crumpled under an avalanche of perfectly placed strikes, leaving Pacquiao stunned at ringside by the spectacle of violence delivered by a young Japanese prodigy who fought with the ruthlessness of an assassin. And yet, among all stories of downfall, none carried the emotional weight of Inoue's clash with the undefeated Puerto Rican phenom, Emmanuel Rodriguez. This wasn't just competition. This was revenge. Before the fight, Rodriguez's coach shoved Inoue's father in full view of cameras, fans, and the fighter himself. It was disrespect of the highest order, an insult that cut deeper than any punch. Inoue entered the ring not only to win, but to restore honor. Forged by anger and focus, he walked through Rodriguez's early pressure, unleashing a barrage that folded the undefeated contender like a collapsing tower of blocks. Rodriguez rose once, a miracle in itself, but honor demanded completion. When Inoue finished him moments later, he claimed the IBF title and delivered a message no one would forget. Insulting his family was not just unwise. It was unforgivable. Tenshin Nasukawa faced his own catalog of arrogance, none more obnoxious than Tai Fighter Mei Wong, who mocked and taunted him through every exchange. Every smirk, every shrug, every sarcastic grin pushed closer toward the breaking point. When Mei Wong fired a blatant low blow, the last ounce of restraint snapped. Tenshin transformed from patient tactician to merciless punisher. With fists infused by rage and precision, he battered the mocker so thoroughly that surrender became his only escape. The bout ended not with a knockout, but with a man begging for it to stop, a humiliation worse than any physical wound. Antonio Neves arrived with skill, confidence, and a nearly perfect record. He saw Inoue as a regional talent, someone untested outside Japan. But reputations crumble quickly under fire. Inoue stalked him with predatory calm, hunting him across the canvas until Neves' legs betrayed him in his corner. Watching their fighter deteriorate by the second, threw in the towel to save him from being carved apart. The Japanese newcomer didn't just win. He announced his arrival as a global threat. Not all wars ended with surrender. Tenshin's legendary clash with Rod Tang, the Iron Man of Thailand, exploded into a spectacle that even seasoned fans struggled to process. Rod Tang laughed at Tenshin's early strikes, dismissing them as nothing more than gentle touches. But Tenshin, fueled by the discipline of a shinobi, answered with combinations so sharp and relentless that even Rod Tang's iron spirit began to bend. When the fight went into an extra round, both warriors entered like men ready to give their souls to the canvas. Tenshin's grit, his speed, his refusal to back down carried him to victory by unanimous decision, proving that heart and technique can break even the toughest armor. Disrespect remained a common theme throughout these fighters' journeys. Early in Inoue's career, Warito Parinas mocked him openly, waving off punches and smirking like a clown entertaining a crowd. But arrogance is a disease Inoue treats swiftly. He unleashed relentless combinations, diagnosing Purina's behavior as pure disrespect and treating it with the only cure he knew: a brutal knockout that silenced the mockery forever. And then there was the infamous glove-touch betrayal against Tenshin. Facing veteran Wanchalong, Tenshin extended respect. His opponent answered with a cheap shot, the kind of disgrace that echoes through generations. Tenshin transformed instantly, turning the ring into a battleground where honor demanded retribution. Every kick, every punch, every explosive strike carried the weight of payback. The final spinning kick that dropped Wanchalong felt less like a finishing move and more like justice. Even Inoue's clash with Pongporn Kokiachim became a lesson in humility. The Tai Fighter, known for his granite chin, strutted with confidence as if he were unbreakable. Inoue dismantled that illusion piece by piece, melting the steel from his jaw until the entire arena shifted its attention not to the opponent, but to the masterclass being performed before them. Inoue didn't just win. He elevated his legend. But perhaps the most emotionally charged showdown came when Inoue Nasukawa, undefeated and standing at the very peak of kickboxing glory, faced Takaru Sagawa, the only 3-weight K1 champion in history. Sagawa's arrogance filled the arena. Every strike from Tenshin was met with a smirk, every exchange met with mockery. But dirty tactics revealed the truth. Eye pokes, cheap shots, desperation disguised as confidence. And once Tenshin's fury ignited, there was no going back. He dropped the legend, punished him, and finally defeated him to cement his place among the greatest warriors Japan has ever produced. These stories are not just fights. They are lessons in pride, honor, and the consequences of underestimating disciplined warriors born from the spirit of samurai. Every taunt, every insult, every cheap shot was answered with precision, rage, and unforgettable displays of skill. These fighters do not speak loudly. They do not brag. They simply enter the ring, absorb the disrespect, and unleash a storm that leaves their enemies broken, humbled, and forever changed. If you enjoyed watching these arrogant challengers get dismantled by Japan's deadliest warriors, make sure to hit that like button and tell us which knockout shocked you the most. Would you ever dare to face a samurai in the ring? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more brutal breakdowns, legendary showdowns, and deep dives into combat's greatest stories. The next warrior rises soon, and you won't want to miss what comes next.